Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Brittany, and I'm back with another video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that, y'all. As you can see, first of all, as you can see, we are here to talk about season 1 of Sex and the City. As you guys know, well, if you don't know, I recently just binged Sex and the City, and when I binge watched it, I just did my overall thoughts on it. But now, y'all, I love this show so freaking much. I want to talk about it season by season, episode by episode. So what we're going to do, y'all, what I'm telling y'all, one thing about me, I analyze things, especially, when I want, like, recap queen. So what we are going to do, and y'all, I honestly feel like anytime I come on here and talk about Sex in the City, like, I gotta look good. Like, I feel like if I come on here and talk about Sex in the City and I have my bonnet and my do-rag and my t-shirt on, that it's not gonna hit. So, y'all like the look? Does it give Carrie Bradshaw, Samantha? Like, y'all, who will wear this? Does it give Carrie, Samantha, I was thinking more so of a Samantha. Y'all, please say Samantha, because that's what I was going for. With the glasses and everything. Two-piece, like, y'all please say Samantha, because that's what I was going for. So, yeah. What we are going to do, we're going to go through season 1 and we're going to talk about it episode by episode. And then at the end, we're just going to do the overall thing on season 1. So yeah, y'all, if y'all want to talk about season 1 of Sex in the City, then let's get into it. If you don't, then I know it's the X somewhere on the screen. Bye. Okay, so season 1, episode 1 starts off with Samantha's friend. Honestly, they didn't really discuss their relationship, and this person was only in the first 5 minutes of the show. But anyways, Samantha's friend or whatever is talking to her, and basically she's an English journalist and she came to New York. She met this guy, she kind of fell for him, and then he straight out ghosted her. And she's basically telling Carrie the story, and that's how the show starts. And the show is basically setting the tone for, it's like you have a lot of great single women in New York or in general, but not enough great single men. So yeah, that's basically the tone of the episode, basically the tone of the show, period, honestly. And we meet Carrie and her 4 friends. You have Carrie, main character. She's the I don't even know how to describe her, but she's a writer, and Carrie is just Carrie. You have Samantha, friend, freewheeling, sexually free. You have Miranda, kind of stuck up, friend, lawyer. Oh, and Samantha, PR. And then you have Charlotte, another friend, wants to be married, kind of desperate, gives off, and she's an art dealer. So episode 1, we're just gonna get straight into the things that matter. Ow, my glasses keep getting stuck in my hair. So we're just gonna get straight to the stuff that matter. I knew this show, and I knew I was going to be over Carrie, honestly, as soon as the Mr. Big and Carrie interaction happened. As soon as that interaction happened, like, all of her friends, they sit here and they talk about having sex like a man. And Carrie asked the question, and this is her column question of the day: were women in New York really giving up on love and throttling up on power? Because her and her friends were talking about having sex like a man, and they're basically just like, men basically smash and pass, hit it and quit it, woo woo woo, whatever you want to call it. But when women do that, they're getting judged for it. And they're basically, Samantha's basically saying, and Carrie kind of agrees, everyone besides Charlotte basically agrees that, women should kind of be sexually free. Do I personally agree with that? Honestly, y'all, you wanna know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to answer these questions as I go on it. Do I feel like women should give up on love and throttle up on power? Honestly, I say no overall, but I honestly feel like you should kind of, when you mess with somebody, you should kind of match the vibe that they on. If y'all vibe not matching, then no. If you got love and the other person is getting on that throttle, love, power, sexual stuff, then no, don't talk to him. But if both of y'all just want to hit it and quit it, then it's like, cool, why care about the love if both of y'all just want to hit it and quit it? But so to a certain extent, I agree with this to a certain extent. So back to the show. So after that, she has her first interaction with this guy that they call Mr. Big. Why do they call him that? I don't know. He's supposed, but she runs into this guy named Mr. Big. Their first interaction was kind of okay. And y'all, I knew Mr. Big was going to be on BS during their first interaction, when the first thing he picked up were her condoms. Like, seriously, Carrie drops her purse and, you know, this dude, Mr. Big, you know, picks it up for her. And yeah, there were condoms in the purse. And of course, there were other things in her purse. But he ends up picking up the condoms in her purse. And before she kind of, you know, saw what he looked like or whatever, my bad. She looks to see if he has a wedding ring. She saw that he did have a wedding ring, and that's when my girl Carrie said, okay, like, this is what I want. She didn't even know him, like, but throughout that first interaction, and it's like, their first interaction was literally their whole relationship, bro. Just unserious. Him picking up condoms and his little, like, I knew he was gonna try to get on her, smash on her, do whatever after that wave. After that wave, and when she walked away and she kind of tripped, I was like, damn, girl, like, bruh, I knew she was gonna do it. And then, you know, she knew she wanted that man instantly. Like, all, I don't like it, y'all. All he did was pick up some condoms and wave at her. Like, so I don't even know what off of that first interaction. I'm guessing she felt it, but it was just like, girl, he could at least picked up her lipstick. That would have been more like, okay, he picked up like lipstick, but girl, he handed you your pack of condoms. Like, to me, that would have been like, okay, you carry some condoms, like, but whatever. But then afterwards, Sam and Carrie run into Big again, and apparently Samantha flirts with him because she's just like, yo, if you don't get on this man, I will. He's supposed to be the next Donald Trump. He's supposed to be woo woo woo. And y'all, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. So you have her friend Samantha flirting with Big, but honestly, Big kind of wasn't paying Samantha any attention. It's like he wanted, like, out of them, he wanted Carrie, you know, he's waving at her and woo woo woo. So it's like Samantha kind of wanted to hop down on Mr. Big, but he kind of made it clear that he wanted Carrie. But Carrie didn't make it clear to, you know, everyone else yet. Like, it's like she was kind of keeping her little interaction and crush on him to herself for some reason. Don't know why. So that's what's going on with this Carrie character. Then you have Charlotte. Charlotte meets this other art dude, and you know, she's kind of feeling him. She goes on a date with him, and she talks about how she hasn't had sex with him yet, and they go out again, and you know, they haven't done anything yet, and she tells him, like, you know, she doesn't feel comfortable doing that yet because she feels like if she kind of holds out, then he will kind of like her more, or he'll respect her more, or it would just kind of develop some type of spark and love between them. So she basically kind of tells him that, and he basically, and y'all, as she's getting in the taxi cab home, he gets in a taxi cab with her, and he basically tells her, like, oh yeah, I'm about to go to the bar because since you're not trying to do this, I'm about to, you know, I kind of want to smash somebody tonight, so yeah, that's what I'm about to go do. Like, okay. So then you have Miranda, and Miranda goes on a date with some guy named Skippy, and y'all, he honestly looks like his name is Skippy, but she goes on a date with Skippy. But her issue with Skippy is that he's just kind of too nice. So with Skippy being too nice, she kind of wasn't really, you know, feeling him. But kind of at the end of their date or whatever, yeah, at the end of their date, he kind of pulls her in kind of aggressive for a kiss, and she ends up, you know, kind of feeling him. So yeah, that's what's going on with Miranda. So then we go back to Samantha, and we see that Samantha ends up sleeping with the artist dude that Charlotte was with this episode, because, you know, like old dude said, he wanted to go to the bar, you know, kind of get his rocks off, and I'm guessing he found Samantha. And yeah, then at the end of this episode, you go to Carrie, and she's in the street trying to find the taxi home, and guess who pulls up in their limo or whatever? You have this Mr. Big guy. So Mr. Big takes Carrie home, and on their ride home, you just see that Carrie's just like in awe, like y'all, it was killing me. And so Carrie is going into her house, they drop her off, and she asks him, hey, you know, like, have you ever been in love? He says, abso-freaking-lutely, and drives off fast, and she's just like, and for me, I was just, my face was kind of like, okay, but yeah. So what have we learned just based off of this first episode of Sex in the City? Learned that Carrie is the most delulu person on this show already. From episode 1, it's like she's falling for a guy that she's had 2 interactions with at most, and throughout those whole conversations, he said like 10 words to her. And then, no, wait, I take that back. 5 words at max, because the first conversation, all he did was hand her condoms and be like, hey, you just like say some smart ass Mr. Big remarks. So episode 1, Carrie's Delulu. 2, Miranda is honestly, it gives no lie, it gives desperate to me. Like, it's nothing wrong with wanting to be married, wanting to get married, having that dream, but it's just like, she is willing to do anything for somebody to marry her, and I'm sorry, and I don't like that. I don't like that for her. Like, Charlotte, she's gorgeous, and it just seems like she's way too pressed to, you know, put anything aside for somebody to marry her. Samantha, sexually free. It doesn't even seem like she's worried about the same type of things her friends are worried about. Miranda, though, Miranda's mean. Yeah, that's what we got from episode 1. Like, Miranda, she's like a tough nut to crack. Another thing is, apparently all the guys in New York suck. Okay? All the guys in New York suck. So yeah. And then it's like, I just know Mr. Big and Carrie, they just gonna take you on the journey. And like I said, this is only season 1, episode 1. So yeah, buckle up. Then we get to episode 2. In episode 2, a guy Miranda is dating is a modelizer. He just strictly dates models. You have a friend that Carrie's, and he apparently, a lot of guys in New York are obsessed with models, having sex with models. One of Carrie's friends, like, he records himself having sex with certain people, and he's showing her about it. So the girls are basically discussing their insecurities, and Carrie asks if models could cause otherwise rational individuals to crumble their presence, exactly how powerful was beauty? Somebody that wrote this said, side note, some of my brain cells just died because of this question. It's like, y'all, no, reading these questions back, they were so cringe. But I'm guessing she was trying to say how powerful was Beauty, I guess. Like, I'm guessing Beauty is very important when it comes to guys, I guess. I don't know. I'm guessing that's a man's question. Like, I know it's the term where it says, like, oh, men sleep with anything, which I do agree with that. But it's just like, I feel like, you know, at least be, you know, attracted to the person. Like, so back to the episode. The girls, they discuss their insecurities, and then afterwards they go to a fashion show, and Carrie bumps into Mr. Big, and Mr. Big just so happens to be with one of the models. And however, when he is with one of those models, he's still blatantly flirting with Carrie. You know, she tells the model, oh, okay, good job, woo woo. And, you know, she tells Mr. Big, like, yo, you know, see you later. And he tells her, you know, I hope so. So, yeah. So, when it comes to Beauty, it's like they were talking about their insecurities and whatnot and woo woo woo. But she still ended up kind of getting her little 1-2 with Mr. Big in front of the model's face. So that probably kind of boosted her up a little bit. However, we get to Samantha in this episode, and she strictly has sex with the guy that Carrie told her was recording people on purpose. She has sex with him on purpose, but before they, you know, start doing it, she asks him about recording it. He tells her that he only records certain people, which kind of, you know, lowered her self-esteem a little bit. She kind of had to ask for him to record her. So it's like, what I getting for this is like just evaluating Samantha. My opinion is that, yeah, she's sexually free and woo woo woo, but she kind of just wants all of this for some type of validation, you know, like, because for her to be pressed that some guy isn't recording her is just like, girl, like, this guy, he literally said he recorded everyone, and her saying like, oh, like, you don't want to record me was just like. And then you have Miranda, and she bumps into Skippy, and he basically checks her for ghosting him, and she honestly just doesn't like Skippy. It's like he's too nice for her, and not that he's too good for her, he's just nice, he's soft, you know. She kind of wants someone that's kind of more, you know, I guess I'll say masculine, you know. Skippy was just kind of the type. But yeah, y'all, then at the end, Mr. Big pops up on Carrie as she's working in a coffee shop, because she mentions to him that she worked in a coffee shop, and he popped up on her to tell her, eventually you just want to be with the person that makes you laugh. And then he storms out, and as he's storming out and going out, she's just like she just loves this guy, and it's just like, okay. So then we get to episode 3. I don't have a lot on episode 3, but the question was, is there a secret cold war between singles and marrieds? So that's what it's kind of based on. Samantha feels as if, you know, married women are kind of jealous of them, but you know, you go to, you know, how they do the shots between the show, and you just see kind of singles kind of showing their disdain, their jealousy towards their married friends, and you know, kind of vice versa. And me personally, do I feel like it's a secret cold war? Honestly, sometimes. There's a lot of people that sit here and they denounce marriage, or they be like, oh, F this, F this, F that. But some of those people will probably want to get married. But honestly, I would find it strange for anyone that's in a relationship or married to want to be jealous of single people, because it's just like, it's easier to become single than to be in a relationship. Like, if you want to be jealous of single people, it's just like, honestly, just be single. Or honestly, if you want to be jealous of single people, for me, it would kind of be like, why? Like, we not doing shit out here. Like, but yeah, that happens. And y'all tell me why also in this episode Carrie meets she bumps into like an old friend, and you know, he was straight, now he's gay, and he asks Carrie to you know, be there to have their baby, and it was just kind of like, what? That was hilarious. And then Miranda, she dates a woman for work. And a lot of people, I'm guessing when they were watching the show, they thought Miranda was a lesbian. When I first saw the first episode, I too did think Miranda was a lesbian. So I'm guessing her doing this scene is kind of like, yeah, I'm glad Miranda isn't a lesbian. She didn't seem like she enjoyed it. She didn't seem like she liked it. She dated this woman just for work, and then when she saw that it wasn't her cup of tea, she was just like, yeah, bye. And then Carrie just dates this guy just because. You know, when you date people just because, but her just because was just like, she dates a guy just because. Like, she let this guy on, you know, she didn't really like him, and she told him, oh, I don't know, I was just trying things out. Like, girl, bye. But she ends up passing the guy to Charlotte, and they end up both dumping him off for something, so it's like, yay. But that was episode 3. Wasn't too much. So then we go into episode 4, and this is where I started getting irritated. So let's just recap it. So then Mr. Big and Carrie, they keep on bumping into one another everywhere. If they at the grocery store, if they, you know, meeting with friends, if they getting coffee, whoop. She just keeps seeing this Mr. Big guy everywhere, so he decides to ask her on a date. So Carrie puts her best dress on. She like, yo, I've been in love with this guy ever since he picked up my condoms. Like, yes. But he ends up standing her up. And you would have thought she would have been done right there. He ends up standing her up, so she's upset. Then so her and Samantha decide to date 20-year-olds. And y'all, this episode was kind of weird. And this was her question: are men in their 20s the new designer drug? Carrie, I think they were in their early mid-30s, but they were smashing on guys that were like 21, 22. And it's just like, are men in their 20s the new designer drug? As absolutely not. If I were in my 30s, it's like, yeah. I just heard yesterday, honestly, that women that are older look for guys in their 20s just because they have a high sex drive. And honestly, I can see that on Samantha's side, because Samantha, you know, had a high sex drive. And honestly, it seems like Carrie was just upset about her whole Mr. Big thing. Because, y'all, her dumbass, she ended up drunk calling Mr. Big. It's just like, girl. Anyways, so yeah. Then after that, Charlotte's boyfriend asks her for anal, and she is considering it. And like I said, the thing about Charlotte is like, yeah, it's like, anytime she likes someone, anything that person says, you know, she just wants to take it into consideration. So her boyfriend asks her for anal, and that's where her relationship is right now. And y'all, so then Mr. Big finally gets in contact with Carrie, and they finally go on their first date. Like, Carrie and Mr. Big finally go on their first date, but he invites his friend because his friend is going through some stuff, and his friend calls him crying, so he couldn't say no. So yeah, Carrie leaves, and she meets up with her 20-year-old dude and ends up, you know, getting her rocks off with him. But then she decides that, yo, this life is not for me. I'm too old for this, blah, blah, blah. So we bump into Mr. Big again, and he asks her on a date again. For the 3rd time. We had 3 failed dating attempts in one episode. And she decides to say yes. Because she just feels like, whoever this Mr. Big guy, he must be worth it. So I really don't have anything on episode 5. It really wasn't much except for Skipper being obsessed with Miranda for some reason. So we get to episode 6 where Carrie and Mr. Big are finally going on their first date, and Carrie talks about sex on the first date. Samantha tells her, of course, like, girl, it don't matter. Miranda tells her it's just not the first date, and Charlotte tells her to at least wait until the 5th. However, her and Mr. Big smashed on the first night anyway, so it's just like, girl, whatever. But she doesn't tell her friends about it. I'm guessing she's embarrassed to tell her friends about it. He calls her afterwards and they go hang out. And while they do that, they bump into one of his friends. And he didn't introduce her and she feels some type of way about it. And then he takes her and then they go on a date again. And they go to like a secluded little dark Chinese restaurant. And she also feels some type of way about that. And so she thinks that it's because they smashed on the first night. So Carrie asked the question, mind you, she's saying all this as she still continued to smash him. Like, not like they just did it that one time. It's just like, yo, stop. Like, she, you know. So she asked the question, how many of us out there are having great sex with people we're ashamed to introduce to our friends? Not currently, but yeah, you know, been there, done that, you know. And then you see the person somewhere, you know, you just gotta play it off. Or me or somebody, I just, you know, I don't say nothing. Like, look, like, what Keke Palmer say? Like, I have no idea who this man is. Like, who is that? So yeah, she pops up on him to confront him about all this in the middle of the night. And this is the start of their first actual toxic moment. Like, before it was just kind of, you know, all in her head, but this is where it gets like, she's actually doing it. She pops up on him in the middle of the night to confront him. Like, yo, you took me to a secluded restaurant. Like, yo, we bumped into your friend and you couldn't even tell them what's tea and me and you. You couldn't even introduce me as your friend. Like, you just, you know, like, what's tea? He explains himself, and of course, she says it's okay, basically. Like, he literally just tells her, like, yeah, you know, I love this restaurant, and yeah, you know, I don't even fool with Buddy like that. Like, I don't remember his name, that's why I could... Like, dude, Mr. Big, we don't even know your name. Like, y'all, what, like... What's Mr. Big's real name? Like, hang it up, like, tell me. So, yeah, he explains himself to her, and she basically just says, you know what, Mr. Big, whatever you say is okay. So then we get to episode 7, and episode 7 is when this show started to become my fave. I was like, so... the episode starts with Carrie and Mr. Big being all lovey-dovey-dovey to the point where her friends are just like, yo, Carrie, like, where you at? What's tea? We haven't seen you. And she's just kind of like, you know, like, y'all, I've been with my man. So she's head over heels with her man. It seems like her man is head over heels over her. So it seems like regardless of what I said between right now and before, it doesn't matter because Mr. Big and Carrie are good. He seems like he's showing her a good time to the point where now it's like even her friends know about it, right? Because at first she wasn't telling them about it, right? Right. Yeah, so good for them. So then we go to Charlotte and they talk about, you know, like giving and receiving, and Charlotte talks about how she doesn't like giving, and I'ma just leave that there. So then, y'all, Carrie and her friends are out, they're eating and whoop whoop whoop, and they catch Mr. Big on a date with somebody else. And y'all, the way he played it pissed me off. I was just like, yo, she goes up to him, and y'all, and he literally just like, oh, Carrie Bradshaw, this is Lucy Tina. Like, Like, so basically, she finds out that Mr. Big is seeing other people, but in Mr. Big's mind, he just like, oh, ain't you seeing other people too, shawty? Like, you thought this was an official thing? Like, nah, this ain't 3-0 twin. Like, no. So Carrie's mad about that, and so we see Miranda sees Skipper with somebody else, and because she sees him with somebody else, she's hella jealous, and she calls him up to sleep with him. And she, like, I don't like the fact that she only wants Skippy, when she sees him with somebody else. Like, she wants him at her own convenience. Like, he actually likes her, but she only wants him when she wants to, and that is very rare. Like, she wanted him when he was aggressive, when he was with somebody else. So it's like, Miranda, tough nut to crack. Like, it's something don't like, yeah. So then Carrie and Mr. Big argue at a party after she knows how many women she's sleeping with. And so she asks the question, in a city like New York with its infinite possibilities, has monogamy become too much to expect? And I feel like this question can relate to today. Like, a lot of people glamorize polygamy, like, oh, you know, like, shit, y'all, look at Neo and freaking, what's that ugly dude, that was going with Erica Banks, him. Like, a lot of people glamorize, you know, a lot of people be out cheating and whatnot. Like, for a lot of people, it's hard for them to be with one person. So to that question, is it too much to expect? I wouldn't say it's too much to expect, but it's just, I don't even, yo, I'm too damaged. Don't ask me questions about this, because I'm gonna say yes too much, because a lot of people don't do it if you asking me. But if you ask all the lover people out there, they're gonna be like, no. But for me, yeah, people don't do it if you ask me. I'm too damaged to answer questions like this. Like, I may be Carrie, like, shit. So yeah, Miranda tells Skipper to see other people but still F her, and he gets pissed. Yeah, because, yeah, don't play with me. Like, and that's exactly how I wrote it. Like, she literally tells him, like, you know, you can still sleep with me, but, you know, you can see other people too. And he's basically telling her, like, you know, I like you? Like, what? You still want me to see other people? But the thing is, Miranda, she just didn't like him. Like, she just thought he was some loser, and he probably put it down, and she liked it. And so, yeah, like, he just need to hang it up flat screen. So then at the end of this episode, Carrie drunk calls Mr. Big, and they have a cute moment together, you know, like, she basically tells him how other guys want to smash her. You know, he kind of pulls up on her, and they stand together, and he puts his arm around her, and that's how that episode's in. So it's just like, she's so over head over heels with this guy that's not giving her the same energy, and that's just Carrie Bradshaw. Like, hey, what we gonna do? Okay, this episode was hilarious. So Charlotte's boyfriend asked her for a threesome, and y'all, what I'm telling you, Charlotte was really actually considering this. Like, she was having fantasies about it. She was helping him pick out people. So yeah, like we said, well, like I said, Charlotte, she's just a person in the show. Like, she didn't find herself yet. Let's just say that. I feel like, honestly, none of them have. So yeah, but Charlotte's at the point where it's like, she just wants to be married so bad, where whatever guy is willing to like her and ride that wave, she's willing to get on that wave with him. So Charlotte's guy asks her for a threesome, and even as Charlotte, as someone who doesn't like women, she considers it. So yeah, Carrie finds out Mr. Big, y'all, oh my gosh, this episode pissed me off. Like, I'm mad that I gotta read about this. So Carrie finds out Mr. Big was married, and she pops up on his wife, and she pretends it's work related. Like, what is up with this girl? My thing is, out he was married, you know, she talks to him about it, but it's just like you pop up on his wife. Why? Like, so you can find out more about him or her in the thing, like the ex-wife that he claims like, yo, I don't even F with her anymore. That's my ex-wife. We don't have any relation. And then it also comes out that Mr. Big and his wife used to have threesomes. It also turns out that Samantha is smashing a married man and she bumps into him and while he's with his wife. So Carrie asks this question: were threesomes the new sexual frontier? Honestly, I don't partake. I haven't partake. I wouldn't want to partake. Not my cup of tea. Yeah, I honestly feel like threesomes are for people where, yeah, you just gotta be into it. Like, yeah, it's honestly not my cup of tea. I'm honestly not attracted to women. It's just like, honestly, yeah, I don't know. I feel like threesomes are those things where everyone needs to be into it. Like, one person can't be off because that throws it off. Which brings us back to the episode. Charlotte and her boyfriend, they find the girl to do the threesome with, and Charlotte ends up getting the short end of the stick because her boyfriend ends up putting all the attention to that girl. So she's done with him. So it's like she was willing to do the threesome for him, but when she found out it didn't go the way how she thought it was gonna go with him, she just like, okay, I'm out. And it's just like, girl, you weren't never into this in the first place. You should have been like, I'm out when he even bought the idea up. Samantha's upset because the married guy she was smashing wants to be with her and she doesn't want to be with him. So his wife is just like, yo, since you're already smashing my husband behind my back and he's in love with you, I'm gonna just invite you to, you know, be with us in the bed. And she's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And she's just like, no. And then at the end, Carrie argues with Mr. Big about his ex-wife. So we have threesomes and ex-wives, and it's just like, yeah, like I said, I don't partake. And with Carrie, it's just like, yo, why are you sitting here? Like, I'm not questioning you about dudes that you were with in the past. And apparently Mr. Big is just like, him and his wife, you know, they had amazing sex, amazing threesomes, and apparently that bothers Carrie. But for me, it's just like, girl, hang it up, flat screen, like, for real. Okay, this episode, the notes are really quick because it was like kind of straightforward. Carrie asked a question: in a city of great expectations, is it time to settle for what you can get? And she asked that because Mr. Big, you know, it came out that he was married before and he said that he does not want to get married again. But Carrie, she's someone that wants to get married. So her idiot butt is sitting here really contemplating. Like, y'all, let me just say this. I honestly don't like this conversation for so many reasons because I feel like it just doesn't make sense. If I'm someone that wants to get married, I can't be with someone that say like, yeah, I don't believe in marriage, because it's just like, what's the point? We don't even have the same end goal at the end of this. Because if you're like talking to someone that's just like, oh, I don't believe in marriage, I don't want paper, blah, 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 it's the government. It's just like, if I know that is my end goal, it's like we're basically wasting each other's time, because what's gonna happen? Like, you think you're gonna change that person's mind into marriage? Like, unless you can. And it's just like, but whatever. So yeah, that's what that episode's about. She basically tells him that she doesn't want to date someone that doesn't want to get married, but she does it anyways. So that was episode 9. So episode 10, we meet another friend, their friend Lainey. Well, technically not even their friend. It doesn't even seem like they like Lainey that much, but a girl that they know who was kind of like wild in the past. They said she was like, wow, like basically like them but worse. But she's having a baby and they end up going to her baby shower. And as they're at the baby shower, they think of the motherhood life. And so the mothers, as they're chasing their kids around, they're thinking of the life that, you know, basically the girls have, you know, when they were basically young and free and didn't have their kids and their husbands. So Carrie also thinks about this because her period is late. So she says, basically, I couldn't help but wonder, was I next? And honestly, y'all, I was so upset. Like, when Carrie was talking about her period, I was like, oh no, it's definitely not by Mr. Big, bro. I was just like, yo, oh my gosh. So also at the party, we have Lainey, who steals Charlotte's baby name. Apparently, when all of them were younger, Charlotte said she was going to name her baby a specific name, and Lainey is naming her baby that name and claiming that she doesn't remember Charlotte saying that. And Charlotte is hella pissed. And it's just like, that was a dick move. That was a dick move. And so Lainey, I'm guessing she goes to party with them to try to make it up like, yeah, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom type thing. And she ends up embarrassing herself. And that's honestly the end of that episode. And Carrie ends up getting her period. So yay. No Mr. Big Baby. Yes, ma'am. Oh my gosh, y'all. This episode was like, Carrie's so dramatic. So Big and Carrie, even though she said she didn't want to date a guy that doesn't want to get married, she's back with Mr. Big. Yay. So they are getting closer, and she farts in front of him on accident, and she storms off and makes a big deal about it. Big, you know, he tries to joke about it because, you know, this Mr. Big, he's so unserious and he literally takes nothing serious. And it seems like their dynamic is unserious. They fight, but when they're good, they joke about everything. They're super sarcastic. It's like they match each other's freak or whatever. I don't know. So he laughs, she doesn't laugh back, and she's hella mad. And then they go 3 days without having sex. So she's worried. So she's just like, yo, is it because I farted in front of him? So she asks the question, how often is normal? So I'm guessing she's asking, how often is it normal to kind of go without having sex with the person you're in a relationship with? And honestly, I don't even know why she was tripping off for 3 days. Like, being with someone that literally just wants to do nothing but have sex with you all the time is so weird. Like, literally, if you just want to be with someone and they just jackrabbit and they want to hunch all day, it's just like, okay, damn. Like, to me, that's kind of strange. Like, it makes me think you have something, like, going on. Like, I'm sorry. So, because her being worried after 3 days, and then it also made me think, like, dang, how often and it's like, you can't get a reset, like, or something, because how often was he going in there to the point where 3 days you were just like, oh my gosh, she doesn't like me because I farted? Like, girl, you're going to fart, poop, urine, eat all that. So yeah, like, your little poots wasn't gonna do nothing. And the thing is, the fart wasn't even dramatic. Like, she literally pooted. So it's just like, whatever. So for her to ask how often is normal, it made me question, like, girl, like, how often were y'all having sex? Like, you know, like, it was good they needed a reset. So, but also, he's never been to her house or anything. So he comes to her house for the first time, and then he comes to her house for the first time uninvited at that. Well, it was his first time, period. Because it seemed like anytime he come to her, like, she comes to him, or he's just downstairs in his little limo or whatever. So, yeah. And then they finally have sex again. So it's like, woo, that was episode 11. Like, woo, yay. Y'all, episode 12, the season finale, was my favorite episode of this whole season, bro. Like, yes. Yeah, of this whole season 1, this was my favorite episode. Like, this episode was hilarious. First of all, Miranda is talking to a guy that showers right after he has sex. And when she confronts him about it, he basically says like it's a, you know, kind of a religion thing. Like it's kind of something he kind of does to repent. Like I think he said he was Catholic or whatever, and I'm guessing he thinks if he takes a shower right after he has sex, like it would kind of wash the sin of sex away. Like, okay, weird flex, but okay. So yeah, and she's trying to kind of stop him from doing it. He basically goes off on her, so they kind of that was a short-lived relationship, and I'm guessing she was upset about it because she's just like, it was great and everything, she wanted to get to know him, but you know, he was just gonna do it every time. So Carrie sees Mr. Big at church with his mom because she's doing research on, you know, her column. She asked the question, are relationships the new religion of the 90s? Can't answer that because I'm in the 90s, so because I'm not in the 90s. So yeah, she sees Mr. Big at church with his mom, and Charlotte says, a man who cares about his mom makes a good husband. And y'all, let's in a few seasons we're gonna remember that Charlotte said this. Let me circle this. Charlotte tells Carrie after she sees Mr. Big at church with his mom, she says, a good man who cares about his mom makes a good husband. Because, you know, Mr. Big tells her that, you know, he goes to church with his mom every Sunday. This is just something they do. Because Carrie wants to go to church with them, and she also wants to meet his mommy. And Mr. Big basically puts an end to that, saying, girl, hell no, you're not going to church with me, you're not meeting my mom, you're not going to church with me and my mom, you're not going to church with me to meet my mom, you're not going to meet my mom at church. Period. Like, you know, you feel me? And she kind of feels some type of way about that, because it's like, damn, why I can't meet your mom and why I can't go to church with y'all? Like, what's tea? So Samantha is in love with a lawyer and she fell for him after one touch, and she's talking about this is the one, this is her guy, and everybody is shocked. But Charlotte feel some type of way about this because the thought of Samantha being in love and being married before her bothers her. I'm guessing it is 100% because of the fact it's just like, yo, Samantha is some ran through whore. I'm sitting here and I'm Charlotte, I'm an art dealer and I do whatever for guys. Like, how does Samantha get to fall in love before me? Which was kind of strange, weird or whatever, because it's like, girl, Charlotte, like what? Like, yo, Charlotte was so pressed that she goes to a psychic, a whole psychic, and the psychic tells her that marriage is not in her future, and she gets upset. And it's just like, y'all, she was so upset that her friend Samantha was talking about she was in love and she thinking Samantha gonna find love before her, that she went to a psychic. Next scene, like, Samantha finally has sex with James, the guy she likes, but she realizes that he is small and she is hella pissed. And y'all, honestly, I was upset for her, like for real, because I really wanted Samantha to get down, find her guy. So when she found her guy, I just thought he was gonna be mwah. So when I saw that, when I'm telling y'all, I was hurt for her. I was just like, so it's just like, is Samantha gonna stay with small wee wee because she loves him, or is she gonna go somewhere else? Who knows? So y'all, after that, tell me why Carrie calls up Miranda and asks her to spy on Mr. Big with her at church. Y'all, mind you, all this is happening at church. She didn't bring her best intention to the Lord's house. Like, and that's the worst part about all this. She goes spy on this man at church. She ends up dropping something from a tall balcony he ends up seeing her and she's just like oops, you know, and it's just like yeah. I was just like, yo, like, y'all, Carrie is a freaking character. Like, she's an idiot. And it's like, my whole thing with this, I was just like, yo, just don't let her get caught and I'll just not judge her. But now I had to judge her because you spied on this man at church and you ended up getting caught, girl. And so afterwards, it just gets worse, y'all. Afterwards, she goes to Mr. Big and his mom, introduces herself, and Mr. Big's mom is just like, okay, she never heard of her, see her. So as far as Mr. Big mom's knows, he is not dating some woman named Carrie. He's like, whoever this Carrie lady is in front of her, she's just like, is just a church usher, like, what's going on? But so Carrie is hella pissed about this because it's just like, yo, you've been rocking with me for how many months and your mom doesn't know about me? Like, that's dirty. So she asks him about it, like, yo, what's tea? Like, your mom don't know about me? And he was just like, I'm going to do it on my own time because I don't want to introduce my mom to another girlfriend. We're supposed to go on a vacation, so she decides not to go on a vacation with Big, okay? Because she's just like, you know, because no lie, he just been doing her dirty this whole season. I'm guessing the mom thing just topped it off for her. I don't know why season 1 episode 2 didn't top it off for her, but I guess we'll let the mom thing top it up for her. So yeah, he come picks her up and she basically is just like, yeah, you know, I'm not going with you, like all this BS that's happened to us throughout this whole time, and yeah, like I'm annoyed with it. She's just like, tell me I'm the one. And he literally doesn't say anything. He's just like, so you're not gonna get in a car? And she basically says no and he drives off. And it's just like, damn. She says she has faith that one day somebody will come in and just care about her. And apparently that person this season was just not this Mr. Big guy we're talking about. And it's just like, y'all, I would say I feel sorry for Carrie, but yeah. So, what have we learned throughout this whole season 1? So, season 1, this overall rating for it, I will give it 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Every episode wasn't like 10 out of 10, but as it progressed, it got better. So 8 out of 10. So what have we learned? Like I said, we have 4 friends. Carrie, we learned from season 1 how green she is, and I do not like how desperate she is over Mr. Big. It's annoying. We have Samantha. And honestly, what I take away from season 1 about this whole Samantha sex thing is like, yeah, she likes having sex, but it's like this whole guy sex thing is for some type of validation for her, no lie. What have we learned about Miranda? Miranda, she just seemed like a tough nut to crack, honestly. She has some internal things going on to the point where it's like she has hella walls built up. We learned that Charlotte doesn't have enough walls built up. And no, she's not as sexually free as Samantha, but if a guy say that, you know, hey girl, I like you, I want to be with you, she willing to drop them draws automatically, you know. So honestly, after season 1, I was just like, I love this show, you know. Honestly, I feel like Carrie should have cut Mr. Big off in episode 2, you know. I knew that after he handed her those condoms that it was over. I knew it. I knew he got her when he did to her, like, and she tripped walking away in episode 1. I was just like, girl, all it took was some condoms and a wave to get you to trip like this all season. Like, let's think about this. Like, let's recap this for real. She done showed up at the man's house drunk. She done called him drunk. She done stalked him and his mom at church. She done popped up on the man's ex-wife. Like, how did we get here so fast? This is only season 1. Like, how did we get here? And the thing is, unpopular opinion, Miranda did Skippy the same way that Big is doing Carrie. Like, well, yeah, she just not emotionally available to him, and she just trying to smash. And that's the same thing Big is doing to Carrie. Like, he's not emotionally available to her, and he just trying to smash. And he know that he like her, and Miranda know that Skippy like her. She just playing mind games with him, just like Big playing mind games with Carrie. So every time Miranda's trying to give Mr. Big advice, it's like, girl, you literally doing the same thing to Mr. Skippy. Yeah, y'all, overall rating of Sex on the City season 1 was like an 8 out of 10. Like, the last episode, I was just like, this show is going, like, the tone of the last episode, I was just like, okay, this show has hella potential to grow throughout these seasons, storylines and everything. So yeah, y'all, that was my recap for season 1, you know. So, and y'all know it's other seasons, right? So that means y'all know I'm gonna be back with doing this, right? Okay. I'm just making sure y'all know that. So I'm just making sure y'all know that. So until the meantime, I just want y'all to know, y'all need to make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, all that.